In our last episode, we left the dense forested Camp Mini toilets for a brief resupply in Bend, Oregon, before making our way to the more stark volcanic rock and juniper-rich landscape of the Oregon Badlands. And it's here that we'll spend the next 10 days before finding our final camp in the state before entering Idaho. I know that for many of you watching this, you might not understand my affinity for the desert, the high desert or otherwise. For me, I very much enjoy the unobstructed views made possible by the sparse and minimalist landscape, and this is likely where I'm most at peace. And with this vastness often comes the rich blue skies and stunning sunsets, not to mention the awe of the dark night's expanse, giving way to the magic and vibrancy of the millions of dancing lights overhead. This is what being content and grateful feels like. Hey everybody, welcome to Tim Untethered. I am Tim, and I'm still untethered. So, the Oregon Badlands. What else can I say that I haven't already said? To me, I love the landscape, and the fact that it's in Oregon and I've never been there before was just an extra treat. Super quiet, not a lot of noise, not a lot of light pollution, which is why I was able to get the time lapses that you saw prior. I think this is also the first time that I actually took a picture of the Milky Way and was able to enhance it and bring out the colors. So that was really cool to me because, again, all of this stuff is pretty new, but it's very cool nonetheless. So here's the picture that I took of the Milky Way in the Oregon Badlands. Now, outside of that, we had a great time. Dogs had a great time. You know, they did their exploring and their rock climbing as well as plenty of digging, and they enjoyed it. But you know, this is going to be one of the last times that I'm going to let them off lead, at least for the next couple of camps, due to the rattlesnakes. You know, in the Pacific Northwest, I think we have what's called the Pacific rattlesnake. And while it's more docile than what you're going to find in other parts of the country, you know, Lucky, if he heard the rattle, he would run away. Chaz, not so much. When we lived on the river, Chaz played with snakes all the time, and so I'm not confident he would be scared away by the rattle and would probably want to engage what would normally be a pretty docile or more docile rattlesnake. I don't think it's going to end well. But anyway, the dogs had a great time. So after about a week or so, we head back into Bend, which is only, I think, about a half hour away. We restocked, came back to camp thinking, we'll stay the night here and then we'll head out to our next destination, which we'll get into in a second. And we ended up staying like 4 more days. So it was, it was a great place to camp. So what's next? So after saying goodbye to the Oregon Badlands, we travel a few hours east past the small town of Burns to our final camp in Oregon, the Stinkwater Pass, named for what was once the end of the road for spawning salmon and the requisite stink which accompanied. Now, fortunately for us, there's no stink here these days. But there is one surprise, as this BLM camp is now a wild horse sanctuary. And boy, did we see our share of horses. We encountered horses during our walk on the first day, and while they were skeptical of us at first, it didn't take long before they became more comfortable with our presence. As each day came and went, the horses inched closer to camp and a nearby waterhole. This experience of having such majesty so close made this camp quite special. In the end, they turned out to be very gracious hosts. So what can I say? Despite the name Stinkwater, this is this is a great place to camp. It's probably, I don't know, 20 minutes east of Burns, Oregon. So we resupplied there, came on over to Stinkwater Pass. It's just a short BLM road. It's not very washboarded at all, quite easy to travel on. And then you get to this group of trees, and inside that group of trees is probably a half a dozen different camping spots. Now, when we got there, I think there was only one party camped. I think they left the next day. And I think during the 4 or 5 days that we were there, we probably saw one other couple camping. But other than that, look, it was great to be able to spend that time with those horses. It took a couple of days, and they just got closer and closer each day. And much like the Oregon Badlands, this was a tremendous place to get some astro time lapses, or at least an astro time lapse. So this is one time lapse that I took that I think is absolutely stellar, but I'll leave it to you. So here we go. So again, aside from the name, this was a terrific place to camp. The horses really lent something special to this adventure. And even though we were only there 4 or 5 days, this was still, we were just still on this roll of great camping. And, I hope it holds up. I'm sure that at some point it's not. But so far, everything is going really well. The locations are absolutely stunning. Each one of them is redeeming for a different reason. And while, we did enjoy Camp Mini Toilets, I'll tell you, having these horses around set a new standard of sights to see. So what's next? Well, after Stinkwater, we are heading into Idaho. And the idea is we're going to stop in Boise and then set up camp probably about an hour south of Boise, right along the Snake River. And I'm looking forward to that because the idea of being in a canyon next to the Snake River, wildly appealing to me. So we will see shortly how that goes. So I think that's it for now. Be well and be safe. And we'll have more coming for you very soon. So, bye.